It looks like the broadcast was deleted on the Facebook. Try creating a new broadcast. Okay, so Wednesday Night Live Facebook page did not go through, so no big deal. We're still on YouTube and Twitter. Hello,
Boo.
everyone out there. Welcome to the Wednesday
We
Night
we just
Live.
can't get a break, can we?
I don't know what it is. It's something about that. I'll have to go and figure out why it's doing that. I think that happened last week as well, and I didn't even notice it. At least they gave me a warning this time that it happened. So I'll get it dialed in and figure it out. We are on YouTube. We are on Twitter. And as far as I know, Paul said, I think comments are going to go through on Twitter. So that'd be pretty awesome. So I know a lot of people on the Twitter side that was their main complaint is watching the show and not being able to comment, then having just to go to YouTube and watch the show anyway. Well, it is. We're all here today. Allison is still on vacation, but we got this handsome gentleman right here below me. He's covering. He's covering for her. And no fish faces there, Timmy. No duck. Is it duck face or fish face?
Duck lips. That wasn't duck lips though.
Yeah, yeah, duck lips. I thought they're. Is it fish lips or duck lips? I
Well,
don't
now
know. I don't know what it's
That's
called. That's
that's fish
fish
lips.
lips.
Yeah,
But
no,
when you
duck
do
lip.
that,
Duck lips are like the big pouty,
yeah,
like collagen filled injected thingamajiggers.
like the girls in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Hollywood. Actually, they do it everywhere now. They do it
No,
everywhere.
I'm not a duck lip person. Sorry.
Yeah. I like my women with lips, but they don't have to look like ducks. No, but yeah, I know what you're saying.
Or
Tim.
yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, or like they have two massive slugs stuck to their below their lip. Yeah.
Like we're like four gentlemen that like shouldn't care so much what our ladies look like because we're lucky that they even talk to us.
Yeah, but when their lips are bigger than my entire head, that's an issue. I think.
Except for the two Italians over here on the left side, we don't have any problems.
hey.
Oh, I'm just kidding. I kid. Tim, how is your week going, buddy?
Well, I'll be honest with you. It was a dichotomy of sorts. So I entered into the weekend being my birthday weekend. Not that at this stage in the game, it's like when you were 21. You know, I'm not gonna go out and get raging plastered and puke everywhere. But then I ended up getting sick actually on my birthday. So it's
Oh,
taken me a few days to kind of rebound back from that. So I think it was food poisoning, but I'm self-diagnosing. So it seemed like the logical answer because it just kind of hit me
yeah.
like a brick wall on Sunday night at around 11 o'clock, and it kind of lingered until basically yesterday, until about late last night. So,
Uh,
but I'm good. I'm recovered. I am a healthy 54-year-old, and
he's an old
I have
man.
now crossed over into the even numbered series of numbers for a year,
Yeah,
so I can enjoy that. But yeah, other
we're
than that, just
we're one
business as
year away
usual.
from some major discounts in life, Tim.
I know, just so much to look forward to in our old age. You know, that AARP is really going to mean something when the mail actually shows up. Is that what you're trying to say?
That and the we get that special rate at Denny's for breakfast.
What about the? Do we still get discounts at like the movies and shit?
Yeah, well, I don't know about the movies. I know Denny's 55. I think you start being able you get to order from that back part of the menu. So,
That's not right though. So they go, okay, you're 55. You got this special perk now. You worked hard all your life. You've made it to 55, but you can only order from this one little section in the back of the menu.
yeah.
There's something wrong with that. I
They
think
should
you
just
should be
open
able to
it up,
go.
right?
You should be able to go right to the front of the menu and order the fucking Dagwood on
Yeah.
a discount.
I want the super stack of fucking pancakes. I'm 55, but I'm not dead. I can eat a stack full of
That should
pancakes.
be your argument, though. You could be like, I'm 55. I could die tomorrow. Why can't I just order what I want right
Yeah,
now?
give me extra butter. Pour on that fucking syrup. Let's go,
Exactly.
babies.
Yeah.
Give me some
I,
more salt.
I don't care about my arteries anymore at this part. Put all the cheese you can on top of that sucker.
Yeah, my digestive system's working, so I'll be able to take care of that in about 2 hours. Yeah, 55's it's a big number, man. I think that number worries me more than any of the other ones that I've had coming up. It's like
Why?
55. I don't know. It's just the transition. I like everyone that I've known in my family. It seems like that 55, they've changed their mood, their attitude, everything towards life, politics. Everything changes for in our generation, my family at 55. It's like they just become a whole different person. They're not fun loving and
So you
caring.
turn into a pumpkin at
It
midnight
turned
when you
into
turn
like a
55?
grouchy old Sicilian guy, you know?
Get
It's
off
just
my
like,
grass kind of old man, that
yeah,
kind?
that's the one I'm worried about. Because yeah, 55. My dad changed, uncles changed, all my cousins they got to that 55, and all of a sudden they were grumpy old men, man. All you know, the slack shorts started showing up, the black socks and the fucking dress shoes and the white wife beater shirt, dude, walking up and down the street. I look forward to getting to 55, baby.
I don't know. I don't feel like there's an epiphany age when like you just all of a sudden it's just like something changes. I just kind of feel like I'm the same year after year after year, and the body ages a little bit, but I never really felt like there
Yeah.
was some dramatic change within me. Like I didn't hit some brick wall. I was never intimidated by 30. I was never
Yeah,
intimidated
no,
by
those
40.
numbers
I
didn't
wasn't
bother me.
intimidated by 50. Where like there's people in this world like I'm turning 40 next year, and like you think like the world was
Ooh,
coming to the
man,
fucking end.
it's the end,
It's like
man.
it's 40.
Yeah,
It's 40.
it's 40,
Relax.
and thanks to vaping, we're gonna make it to 70 and 80, maybe 90. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah. Well, exactly. We're not smoking, so
We're not smoking. Nick Orlando, thank you for jumping in for Allison tonight. How's your week going, buddy?
It's going well.
Yeah,
Back into the grind, man.
yeah,
Was
yeah,
at the conference with Allison and
yeah,
had to catch up on some work deferment, but we're back to it and
yeah.
making it happen.
You didn't hear the comment that Mr. Tim up there made when I flashed your picture last week on the show.
No, was it good or bad, Timmy?
It was good. It was
Oh
funny. It
no!
was very
Okay.
clever. It was very clever.
So you had you had your little headshot, where you're like it's something like that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, and I said that you can already tell where that skill came from. This is a page right out of Nick's like
Earlier days.
1960 Sears Roebuck catalog. That's a Sears underwear ad
His
pose.
underwear, his underwear modeling days. That's what he said.
That's what they look like, man.
that's where we're in
Really
the
sharp.
In
shower.
underwear. Yeah.
Really sharp. You haven't had to kill any alligators.
No, man, I haven't been out doing anything around alligators.
Well, hold on
Yeah.
though. Wait, I haven't. Wait, did anybody watch the news within the last 2 or 3 days? Some dude got like completely taken out by an alligator just within the last couple days. Was that in Florida where that
There
happened?
was one here in Largo, Florida, right by one of our stores where the guy got whacked,
Yeah, like
totally gone. But,
yeah, and I'm like,
yeah.
dang, it was like an 11-foot alligator or something shit like
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I've been
Yep.
reading.
One of the lakes.
Yep.
Yeah, you guys are. Your governor opened it up to what's that big old snake? You can start killing them now.
Oh,
Hunt
the
them.
python.
The
Yeah, the
pythons.
constrictors.
Yeah,
But
that was
that's
a monster, man.
Yeah, that thing was big. The one they had, it was the world's largest. It was the largest one in North America ever, and it's in your state, dude.
I know.
Yeah.
I keep checking the pool before I get in. I'm like,
But
Yeah.
that's like they're like a nuisance in Florida because people let them out as pet. I mean, they were pets and people let them go, and then they kept breeding,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yep.
And it has probably the only predator that it has would be the alligator, and that's a stretch
Yeah.
too. Yeah,
And here we got the gators, the big ass iguanas, now the pythons, and little parakeets because the parakeet jungle was blown down by hurricane. So we got parakeets all over. They're mating. And they're just wild birds all over the place.
yeah.
But the snakes, I don't know. The alligators, I'm a little worried about.
Yeah, the pythons, those things scare you, man. And let's say hello to the guy that lives in the most dangerous country in the world when it comes to animals.
Drop bears.
No, drop bears are only one thing. We've got We've got crocodile, snakes, spiders, blue ring octopus. We've got sea snakes. We've got them all here. We don't even have to worry about it.
Yeah, you
It's
got
all good.
koala bears too that got venereal diseases that can kill you. Got all kinds of shit going on over there.
Well,
No,
they have. Go ahead.
No, we've got all kinds of things that'll kill you or maim you or whatever.
Yeah, and somehow you still survived.
Yeah, well, that happens.
Yeah,
No, it's all good.
There's one thing you don't have, Paul. You don't
What?
have You don't have hippo.
Yes, we do.
You have hippos over there? What's the death rate to hippos in Australia?
Oh no, there's only
Maybe
a few
the
hippos
zoo.
here. There's only a few hippos here, not
In
not
the
crazy
zoo.
amounts.
In the zoo.
But only a few. But I don't think anyone's ever been killed by a hippo in Australia. But we've now got wild camels in the outback. We've got.
Good God.
Are camels dangerous?
Oh no, but they're good eating.
I was going to say.
That's why they only have a few camels.
I can't even think of eating a camel. I mean, I got to be.
We
freaking
got
Dude.
tigers.
hungry. I got to be
We
freaking
got the
hungry.
Black
Dude.
Panthers and the tigers and the Florida Black Bears.
Yeah, you guys got all kinds of shit.
Shoot, Tiger King was filmed here.
Yeah, that's right. Your state in that country, you guys could have your own show, man.
No,
Jimmy,
but-
It's on.
They did.
We do. It's the. It's on USA, I think.
yeah,
They had Steve Irwin.
they had Steve
Now they got
Irwin.
his family.
Oh, Paul does.
Paul.
Yeah, so that's what I meant, Paul. Yeah.
Yeah, and the show that I remember back in the 70s was Mutual Omaha, but that was that I don't remember seeing Florida.
That was Merlin Perkins or
Yeah,
whatever,
Merlin
and that was U.S. based though.
Yeah.
But John, we're going to have to find somewhere in the US that actually has camel jerky and send you some. The stuff
Yeah,
is
I'm going to
amazing.
pass on that, man. There's certain things I don't want to eat. And put it this way, I don't want to eat anything that people could ride. To me,
Really?
yeah, like horse.
Really?
A horse, donkeys,
Well, hang on a second.
elephants.
Right. Yeah, hang
anything
on a
that you can
second.
ride, I don't want to eat.
If you say you're Italian, real mortadella was made originally from horse. So blah. I win.
Right. But I didn't have to eat its meat.
I win.
I win. With that being said, Tim, say hello to everybody out there.
Hey, everybody out there in mammal eating land. How is everybody on the show tonight? Let's go up and down the list and say hi to everybody. Apathy Miller, good to see you on the show. Keep Curtis in line. He apparently thinks it's too hot in Florida to fish. Michael Redfern, how you doing? Good to see you chiming in. Curtis Clemens is back with the vengeance.
He's out
Yes, he is. Rog, good to see you, Rog. How are you? Liana, of course. Wonderful to always see you here. I'm scrolling as quickly as I can. Miss Mallory Gates in the house. How are you? What else? Who did I miss? There's another troll. Trolls are affectionately known as on this show the people who are actually on the show that chime into the comments section.
Okay.
Did I literally get everybody that quickly? There's no way. There's no way
Stu,
I got everyone.
You got Stu.
Yeah, Stu. I did see Stu in there. Yeah, you're right. Stu was good to see you, Stu. Jerry Gonzalez, how you doing, man? Yeah, I know. We agree with you wholeheartedly. This vape ban is bullshit. That is the most poignant words spoken tonight. It is total bullshit. Nesty Vapes, good to see you. How are you? I knew that Nesty was in here right at the top. So yeah, that's everybody right now. We got 14 on the line. Say hello, chime in, speak your mind.
Hello.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome to this great show. I'm trying to find my link. I had it saved. I don't know where it is now.
Which
Man, I tell you.
which link now?
I had the link that took you to the petition, and now I don't know where it went.
I thought you were looking for a link of sausages. Or
Go
something.
right to CASA. I mean, basically the
Yeah, I know,
petition
but I had
content
I had it saved in my notes, and I lost it.
Hey, Paul, if you go to exoticmeats.org, you can get that kangaroo jerky.
I can go to my regular store and get kangaroo jerky.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I
well,
Well,
love
go to
kangaroo.
exoticmeats.com.org anyway. You get
Yeah,
some
I
really
know,
good shit.
I know. We spoke about
Oh
this.
yeah, we went
Remember
over to
that night
Guilford.
in the
Yeah,
Zoom
Guilford.
with all your constituents down there in Florida, and a few of
Yep,
them were
yep.
quite shocked and horrified, and the rest of us are just drooling. It's bad, isn't it?
there you
Oh,
go.
there it is.
Take your personal information out of there, dude.
It's just my name. There's no address
Yeah.
there.
Okay, all right, cool.
Yeah.
Just making sure.
Yeah.
Hotmail it is.
Yeah, it's my. They can do that all they want. It just says Modesto, but that's it. It doesn't show a number. Everybody knows I live in Modesto. Modesto.
Yeah, that's why everybody thought you looked like a meth addict.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, we're famous for a few things here in Modesto. I put the link in the chat there. That should take you over there, guys. There's not much more time left for this. I think everything needs to be done right by July 13th. Is that correct?
Open
That's
commentary closes on the 5th, I thought.
Yeah. So, but
Yeah.
the submissions have to be in by July the 13th, though. I think
Okay.
so. It would probably be nice for them to have this all done. And is there a chance, Nick? Your personal opinion? We went through this similar situation back in
17.
yeah,
In
and
17,
got
yep.
yep. He went ahead and pushed it. He pushed it up 4 years for us.
I know Gottlieb's not there anymore, so
Yeah, he
I
is
don't know
not
if
there.
this one's going to let us kick the can.
He's not there.
We'll see. I just don't know because this is open system, so
Yeah.
it's a different animal. But I believe that it's definitely worth us getting involved in mass numbers.
Yeah.
Because it's a chance that we do have. So if you're asking me, do we have a chance? Absolutely, we do. Because that longstanding statement that was made in 17 is something we could stand on. So I absolutely do think there's a chance. I do think it's worth our time, and we should all get involved in this call to action.
Yeah, I wish they would show the. I know they don't have to, but I wish they would show the counter on that. I would like to see.
Well, I did look on the public. There, I guess there's a government site or something because it's We the People or something where the petition was actually posted, and I was on We the People after I finished my submission, and I was a little shocked. And I don't know. I think the tallies were done once every 24 hours. I think the petition had been out maybe a week thus far, and I don't know if there's just something not right in the calculation, but it said only 76 people. That's what the official thing on We the People said, only 76. Now, I don't know how the submissions, maybe the submissions are being collected from multiple points, so I don't know if it's just that was submissions directly
or that
to the
could
We
have
the
been
People site.
somebody personally put that up himself, and maybe this is not tied into that one at all. This
Well,
maybe,
I'll go look while we're talking about
Yeah.
it. I'll look.
Yeah,
John,
hopefully.
did the link you just showed via CASA, did that have the template of verbiage in there?
Yes.
Because I know originally it wasn't. We created our own, but
it says
the
read the
CASA one
citizens.
does have the verbiage. So that one is even easier than the original one. All you got to do is put your name, address, phone number, and I think email in there, and it's done.
It's done. Yeah, they have something already
To hear that there's
pre-written
only
out.
70, less than 100 people involved in this is kind of sad.
Yeah, everything is done
guys,
for you.
get over there if you haven't already done it. Get over there now with John's link and get this done. It is important.
It is important, and we need to have some large numbers there. I mean, just to open their eyes. If we don't, it's not going to. I don't say it'll be a laugh for them, but if they go and look on there and they've got 1,500 petitions signed, when we have 11 so-called vapors in this country, that doesn't look good. But I don't remember what CASA's total membership is. I think it's like 275. Is it right around there? I think 275,000.
Yeah, it's up there. I mean, they're one of the longest standing ones.
Right.
With the zero membership fee, they have a huge amount. But you would think that they're just because of their audience that there would be more than 70 something. That's I hope Tim. I hope it's a different type of measuring stick they're using. I don't know.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, because CASA is collecting petition submissions there.
Yeah.
So I was wondering if maybe if it's distributed to multiple portals where people can go and sign the petition, and versus actually going directly to the We the People site, that maybe that number was only relevant to how many people had used the We the People portal to do it.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
I'm surprised Alex doesn't have something posted with account.
Yeah, maybe we can talk to them. I would like to see that number. I know, sometimes that number is kind of disappointing, but then again, there's sometimes that number when it's when it's a good sufficient number, it could draw more people into it. Like, hey, everybody's doing this. I need to get over there and do this. And I understand not a lot of vapors are really concerned with synthetic nicotine. A lot of people are still using the freebase, but and not using a closed system, and they really don't care about this whole situation. But they need to keep in mind there's a lot of synthetic nicotine that's out there for open systems as well. Most of it now is.
Yeah, but synthetic,
yes, and we're going that way.
Yeah.
Paul, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'll just kind of cover a little bit.
Synthetic nicotine has actually been around since the 90s.
Yeah.
And it's only that the vaping industry invested over the past 5 years into better solutions and better chemistry that now we have a much better product. And this is why there's so much pushback.
Yeah.
The vaping industry never went after any of, and this is truth, they never went after any of the patents from any of the pharmaceutical manufacturers, being GSK and Nicorette and the rest of that. Nicotine polyacrylics is based off tobacco, but it is a synthetic. Bottom line.
Yeah.
Now we've gone tenfold further. We don't even need the tobacco plant to create a synthetic nicotine anymore.
Right.
Simple as that. There's two variants. You've got S and LS. One is manufactured from the actual tobacco plant or the tobacco leaf, which creates the mix or the rasic, and then it's completely extracted out, and then you have a purest form, which is S-isomer, which is completely laboratory manufactured. That's
and
what
racemic,
we're worried about.
Right?
Yeah.
Racemic, is that one of those?
Yeah, there's LS, RS isomer, which is a mixture of both. It's 50-50.
Paul,
because you're
a scientist, is there something, is it nitrosamide?
Yeah.
Or something that is a harmful constituent found in the one that is made with tobacco plants? Is it nitrosamide? Is that the chemical?
It's very similar to that. It can be broken down into variants, but it's the exact same chemical that is within tobacco cigarettes. But when you go and you strip that out and you're into a pure S-isomer, you don't have that issue at all. And the purity, the purity then becomes higher than anything else that's ever been put out. When you get to that level, you're playing with 99.96, which the only contaminant in that would be from either cleaning the machinery down that you're working with, or air has got in at some point in the process. That's it. And it's from microsecond, but no, it's completely different. And in that section, it doesn't discolor in any way, shape, or form. There's no taste. There's no odor. It's completely different.
So Nick's in the chat, and he's talking about that nitrosamines. So yes, he has heard about it, I guess, and that is found in the tobacco synthetic nicotine. So
correct.
I think there is a purer form, which is what you're talking about, is the
R. Yeah.
So I'm thinking R or RS or something, but it was in that conference that I had, and I took a bunch of notes and I left them at the office. Go figure. But there is a way where our industry could make nicotine.
You, Nick, you're doing it in your garage.
A pure, consistent nicotine to be used in these products, where the nitrosamines are greatly reduced. Therefore, not having any harmful constituents, even what we have today, which is very small in this nicotine that can be used for future open systems or closed systems. And they really kicked that around the room a lot. With the FDA was in our conference, so I mean, that kind of stuff was coming up. Like when you're
you can now completely remove that. Right. And Nick, good to see you. And 100%.
Oh yeah. What is happening, Nick?
TSN, nitrosamines, and they can be completely removed now. Right. They've got to the point where it can be completely removed. They're not present. They're not present in the purest form.
That's the point, right? I mean, if we can get to that level and actually produce this product and submit that product and make it all happen, then what? I mean, where does it go then?
I'm trying to do that now.
I can answer this one of two ways, and Nick will probably back me up on this. You're looking at a pharmacy. Nick Green. You're looking at two pathways for this. You could go down the pathway of pure pharmaceutical because it falls into that category, because there's not one little section from the tobacco plant involved in it. It's completely laboratory based and manufactured. It's very, very different. The purity of it and the consistency can be kept throughout the whole process and going forward, and it can be kept there forever. The manufacturing of it will never change. Right. Once you get to that purity level, it will never change. Never.
I put a link in there, you guys. It was just, I know it's been out for a long time, but I got a really good kick out of actually watching this. I kind of hooked on this Modern Marvels that are from the History Channel, but it's a great, it's about an hour and a half, and it was actually pretty cool little video to watch, and I actually got some good little things out of it because the little, let me see if I can share the video.
50s, boosting sales, but doing little for public health.
In fact, when you use the lower nicotine or low tar, you actually smoked more. Cancer rates didn't change. Lung disease rates didn't change.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear that...
The record shows that big tobacco companies knew the link between smoking and disease.
Look how many fucking lawyers the big tobacco has on that table, dude. Because you know they all had to raise their hands, so you know they're all lawyers and they're representing big tobacco. And look at that table; it's just full of lawyers.
And covered it up.
The information was available decades ago, but because of the need to keep the product out there, people withheld information from the American public or obscured that information.
That just, I mean, that's the Surgeon General saying that. I know, this is, he's not around. Is he alive still, this guy? I don't know if this guy's still alive.
Looks like Captain Steubing.
It could be. Where's Gomer? Well, not Gomer. What was it? I forget the name.
The Love Boat.
Oh.
Gopher was his name, John. Gopher.
He's talking about Isaac and Gopher. No, Isaac. Well, but we I mean, the thing is, now hindsight's 2020. I mean, we know all this story now. Yeah. I mean, everyone. I mean, that we just witnessed the last dinner before the MSA. That's what that picture was. That was the last. That was the final, or the Last Supper before the MSA.
Yeah. I mean, to me, hearing that statement and honestly saying the truth, and for me, it's just like, why don't people see that? When you have, I don't know when this video was actually made, but you had the Surgeon General state that the reason they kept it around is because of money. Basically, is all about money, and it blows me away that people don't see that. And we talk about how everybody wants to ban vaping, but no one ever says you don't even hear them complaining like they need to get rid of cigarettes. Very few people, you'll see it in posts every now and then. It'll be like, well, why don't you just get rid of cigarettes altogether? What is all this fight and argument over flavors and vaping, but yet you want to get rid of menthol and flavored cigarettes and flavored nicotine juices, but no one brings up you need to get rid of cigarettes, which is never going to happen.
All right, they constantly turn the blind eye to the one thing that actually is the one of the reasons why vaping showed up in the first place. I mean, it was invented as a safer and harm reduction method to smoking. I mean, that's why it was developed. I mean, however, we may have, if you want to kind of anecdotally say we bastardized it to some degree. I mean, it wasn't like we took something and made it more dangerous. We just embellished on the technology and the delivery systems and the quality of the stuff that was out there. I mean, everyone will tell you the old stories about how their first vape was some crappy Chinese e-liquid that tasted like garbage and some little really weak device and stuff. But I mean, but the premise was the same. Do you know what I mean? And so now, fast forward to 2022 and we're staring down the double barrel shotgun of, completely removing the one thing that was the godsend to it all. And you're right. And no one really raises a massive argument as to why you can still walk into any convenience store or gas station and death is right on the other side of the counter with unfettered until Biden's great plan to come up with lower nicotine cigarettes.
Well, that's the thing, talking about the lower nicotine, that's the big thing now with the IQOS or whatever that other device is that's out there that's supposed to be less nicotine. But that even in that clip, the Surgeon General talks about how they tried to do that back then and tried to lower nicotine levels, and it just made people smoke more. So they know this information. They already know this because it's happened already before. But yet those numbers don't come back up, and it just doesn't make any sense to me. How could they go ahead and say, well, we're gonna try to take lower the nicotine levels in these cigarettes, and that should help people quit smoking? No, it's not, because we've already tried that back in the 60s and 70s. You tried. Let's be honest. First came the filter, correct? Everybody's like, okay, let's put a filter on this. It's going to curb the cancer, and it's going to lessen people from getting cancer and help, with the nicotine. And they put the damn filters on. Then they got into another argument in the 70s and late 80s about lowering the nicotine levels in cigarettes, and that just caused us to smoke more. So they know the numbers are there, and yet they still bring it up. Well, we're going to try to push for lower nicotine levels. Well, duh, you did this already. It makes absolutely no sense.
And then you had a company from memory called, I don't remember who they were made by, and they made a cigarette called Kent, K-E-N-T. Mm-hmm. And they had a different type of filter system on them. And they tried saying that this was like the next level. And I went, no. And they found out that was completely and utterly bogus down the pathway. But filters, for the most part, don't work. Very low nicotine.
Wasn't the shit that was in the filters part of one of the causes that was causing certain types of cancer in the first place?
Correct. That was Kent.
Yeah.
There was a section within like the top two layers. There was a section in the center. I remember reading about this years ago. I went, okay, what's this? Why are you putting a filter within a filter? What are you trying to do here?
It's the filter, the other filter.
Because the cigarettes were meant for Valley girls. They wanted to be for sure. For sure.
Yeah, point taken. But this is half the problem.
Yeah.
They're going back over what they've already tried. Why?
Yeah.
Because they're running out of options.
They're running out of options. I mean, even to this day, I remember like, okay, what was the purpose of these Capri cigarettes when they came out? And it just didn't make any sense, because you remember them, the real thin, tiny ones. And I'm thinking to myself, who are you fooling? who the fuck are you fooling with these cigarettes, dude? And
Well, I think those only came like in a 100 to begin with, and I think they were just They were just meant to be sort of bougie, sort of boutique, for the fancy. Because, like, I'm sorry,
Those
okay,
were
but like,
120s.
yeah, all right, show of hands in the group in the chat. How many dudes were just rocking the fucking capris when they came out?
I didn't
That felt
smoke them.
weird.
My
That
wife
felt
did.
weird when you had to bum one and you would bum one from somebody. How weird that felt, holding that little twig in between your two big old fat fingers. You're like, what the heck is going
My
on?
teeth with that
I
thing.
feel like I'm smoking a pixie stick.
Yeah, they're running out of ideas, and I mean, let's be honest. It's been around a long time. It's been a long time. Tobacco's been around for a very, very long time. Yeah, they got fooled everyone for hundreds of years. The '60s, '70s came around. People got a little smarter. They started realizing people were getting sick from smoking cigarettes, and they started doing testing, and they started realizing people were getting cancer. And then even then. Think about that. How long? That's what I got from watching this Modern Marvels. If you guys out there want to watch, it's a great show. It's 45 minutes, but even after the government or the doctor said people are getting cancer from this, nothing gets done for years after that. You know what I mean? It's just ridiculous how long it took from the doctor saying people are dying from smoking cigarettes, they're getting cancer. Nothing happens for like 4 or 5 years before there's this push and it forces big tobacco to show up in the court. When did they agree on the MSA? That was in what year? 90? No. You're muted, Nick. When did it finally go to court?
Shit.
I can't
You
remember.
freaking asked me something. It was
Yeah, I can't remember. I know.
85?
Yeah.
Are you asking the other Nick?
Oh no, you Nick.
Put him on the spot.
I think it's about that. I
MSA,
mean,
what
think
year
about
was
that.
that?
That's like
85?
20 fucking years.
Was it 85?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna find
1998.
1998.
98? Really?
Yeah,
Damn,
the,
I'm
toba-
old.
the
Because it's
Tobacco
25
Master
year
Settlement
deal, right?
Agreement was entered on November 23rd, 1998, originally between the four largest United States tobacco companies, Philip Morris, R.J. Reynolds, Brown and Williamson, and Lorillard.
Yep.
98.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because it's got a 25-year shelf life, right? And it's supposed to end. Well, it was
Yeah,
supposed
but
to.
they'll just renew it or something.
Yeah, it was supposed to. Yeah, it's supposed to be a 25-year deal. It's what I thought I read. I remember reading that it was a 25-year deal, and then it's supposed to be
who in their right
renegotiated.
mind would ever imagine that something like that's been such a big sort of bailout for the states in terms of the bonds that they take out would ever let that just expire and not be in some form of a renewal or a re-up or a renegotiation of some kind, because then all they have to do is just say, well, then fine, then here come the lawsuits.
Yeah.
So
Well, originally there was a 25-year on it, and then my understanding is they went back and it was modified so they could keep going with it.
Right.
And now it's there simply because you've got a lot of the states in the US that have been defaulting on the bonds. That's another reason. But that's that's a Wall Street problem. They also
I wonder
were
if
part
that
of
25-year included the tobacco agreement with like the 5 states, one including Florida.
Yeah, because your deal, maybe.
Copy.
But I thought it was a 25-year. I thought it ended next year, and that's why they're trying to push and get e-liquids put into this new one that they're going to try to redo. They're going to try to redo this deal.
That's
All right.
100% why they're trying to knock synthetic on the head, because legally it falls under pharmacy. It doesn't fall under anything. It's not extracted from the tobacco plant in any way, shape, or form. So it should fall under pharmacy.
Yeah, because to be honest, it is a pharmaceutical product. I mean, especially if it's made in the laboratory, it's not produced from the plant itself whatsoever. So yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, they've gotten away with so much, and it kind of makes me wonder. How do we fight this? How do we keep fighting this? They like you guys keep saying, they keep changing the goalposts. They keep moving it further back, or they move it to the left, they move it to the right. We were never going to score. We're never going to get that extra point because they just keep changing things on us. And go ahead.
So there's no like shelf life / expiration date on that. As long as you've entered into the agreement and cigarettes are sold in the states that entered into the agreement with those said tobacco companies, it goes on forever.
It goes on forever.
Yeah, I was just going to read a little snippet that said the settlement also dissolved the tobacco industry groups, Tobacco Institute, the Center for Indoor Air Research, and the Council for Tobacco Research. In the MSA, the original participating manufacturers agreed to pay a maximum of 206 billion over the first 25 years of the agreement. So that right there does not constitute expiry. It just says 206 billion over the first 25 years.
For the first 25.
The first that means that's not the last.
Yeah.
So it's going to continue on.
Good. That's more money that our state governors can borrow and to pay for other things.
Yeah, but Nick brought up that one point that was up on the screen there for a minute, that the Tobacco Control Act in 2009 basically grandfathered cigarettes into the marketplace and said that they effectively could never be banned. Well, and I'm not saying that is the stance. I'm sure I would like to think that, if there was enough pressure, from the general public, on, being the constituents, I'm sure that if politicians felt as though they had some incentive to do something like that, maybe they'd change their mind. But that they don't arbitrarily want to do that, only because they benefit from that. Their states benefit from that.
Right. I mean, you look at, as old as the Second Amendment is, they're attacking it, and it's something that we shouldn't be messing with.
Right. Well, I mean, but I have to.
If something as simple as that is being, countered, something like this could be. I'm agreeing with you on that, Tim.
Right. But I fall kind of back on fall back on the whole idea that technically the government's supposed to work for us, right? So if there was enough push from advocacy groups, similar to like the anti-vaping advocacy groups and the lobbyists that are out there trying to essentially abolish vaping, where that's a little bit more of a low-hanging fruit, for them in general, just because we don't really have the same protections of big tobacco, and we don't have agreements that were entered into, and we don't really have sort of that shield. I'm just saying I would have to imagine if there was this massive uprising against cigarettes that you'll probably never ever see. I'm sure they could be eradicated, if the mindset was changed,
This made me laugh because we didn't do anything. I know. I'm just kidding. We didn't. None of us improved any of the product. But I think it's a great point. I mean, the transition from the cigarette lights and what we have today. I mean, this industry didn't sit on one idea. It constantly kept changing. It constantly kept innovating and getting better and better. We've got a lot cleaner e-liquids than we did 10 years ago. We got a lot better products now. We have better coils. We have better cotton that we're using. Everything evolved in this industry, and it just seems like, when the outside people look in, they should look and see that this is change. It's constantly changing, and it's changing for our health benefits. It's not changing for profit. There's no the changes that we have seen in our devices and the liquids and the stuff the accessories that we have for our devices. It's all to better us, to be cleaner, safer, even when it comes down to batteries, think of some of the changes that have been made for batteries just for this industry. So, I mean,
that's the cool thing. We're technology, right?
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, this is technology.
Yeah.
It's just life-changing technology.
Yeah.
It's, we're moving with it. And with that comes your smaller devices, your pod systems, those types of things. And we've evolved, and, cigarettes can't do that. And that was a topic of conversation in our nicotine conference, is that combustible tobacco can't do that. Period. At the end of the day, if say the FDA and the regulating bodies were to give us a blueprint of what they want, I believe our industry could actually achieve it. However, they choose not to do that. Right. And that was another piece that, the FDA person in the room, we were asking him, where is everything we do has a blueprint, has a checklist of specific things you need. If you go get a home loan, a car loan, you get a stack of papers and you have to hit those things that are on a checklist. Why is there no checklist in our industry? Like, give us the checklist. We will conform. We're ready to conform reasonably to what your requests are, and let's make this happen and forget about all this fighting all the time. Let's just do it. Yeah. But it boils down to technology, and we can do it. We have it. We, meaning our industry. But big tobacco can't, and they gave up a long time ago, hence the tobacco agreement and the master settlement agreement.
Paul's got his little finger.
Light bulb just went off. Hold on.
Bing.
Ding, ding, ding. But no, the tobacco industry went back to, the growers and seed manufacturers, and they started modifying like GMO, the actual tobacco seed, and genetically modifying the tobacco plant. So no, they tried, they failed, and back to the drawing board for them.
Yeah, but the difference for them and us is they did it for profit. Where in our industry it was for for health reasons. It was to make that transition easier and better and cleaner for the consumer, not for the profits. So there might have been some people out there that were trying to profit from it, but
John, if we could get the lawmakers to change their mind on that and understand that this is a grassroots type of industry and we're not all in it for the cash grab, I think we would be onto something. However, when we go talk to them, it's, you have a business? Yes. Okay. So you're in it for the money. Yeah. Your word is garbage. Get out of the office. But
I think that should be different though if you are the guy that owns the business, but you bought this business because of what it's done for you. That's which a lot of these people that own these shops, they're 25, 30-year smokers that found something that worked. And did they do it? Yeah. Did they do it for some profit? Of course they have to. Nobody starts a business to fail. Everybody starts a business just to survive, to provide for their family.
Business model.
I'm not going to go open up I'm not going to go open up
get them off vape.
Yeah.
Well, but you could say but you could
my job and open up a shop just so I can fail and not pay my fucking bills.
Right.
I was going to say, I mean, the same argument could be made for things from all different other sectors as well. You could say somebody got into, holistic herbal treatments and things like that. I mean, obviously they believe that strongly, in this particular type of, self-healing kind of thing. That's going to help, heal aches and pains and headaches and migraines and all this other stuff. And they believe wholeheartedly in it. So they start this business to try to pass on that knowledge because they believe in that particular product. It's the same premise. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, they need to sell some products to make some money, keep the roof over their head. And they hope that they become independently, financially strong enough so that the business sustains and they're not working, 18 hours a day. But vaping is the same thing, there's a business at stake to make some income. But I do think that the vast majority of people who opened up vape shops or took the route of perpetuating the fight to get people to quit smoking came in the form of the vape shop, and so their intent was always good. But then in the end they still attach us to big vape and all this other stuff, like somewhere on the building, you can just smell big vape all over it. We're just part of some leviathan that hides underneath hides in the shadows. That's just raking in hand over fist on the backs of the children. Blah, you know.
Well, I can tell you,
Whatever.
I'm not raking in enough to
Yeah,
like,
I
not
saw
do
you.
it.
I saw you
So,
pulling in the Ferrari the other day.
yeah, I wish.
You know,
I gave up a good job to do this, but
yeah.
you got to
I mean,
remember
in
these
this
lawmakers
statement,
work for
yeah,
a living, right?
yeah, this
A
statement
lot of them
right
are
here
attorneys.
kind of makes me, I would love it to be that way, but let's be honest, this industry went a little too far being self-regulated. I think that's one of the biggest problems we have when we should have, we should have seen the transition happening. We should have seen the numbers. The numbers were there. People saw those numbers. We went from an $850,000 a year industry to billions. Now we're at like $7 or $8 billion a year. And somebody should have said, hey, maybe we, let them in a little bit, let them see what we're doing, how we're making this product, because let's be honest, for a long, long time, and Nick will agree with me here, for a long time, they had no fucking clue what this was. They had no idea what this was. They had no idea what the tank, how it worked. They didn't understand why we had cotton, why we had coils, why were we buying this type of wire? Why do we need 3 milligrams? Why do we need 18 milligrams? They had no clue on any of this stuff.
They didn't know it existed.
They didn't know. And I think for us self-regulating ourselves for that long period of time, and then all of a sudden it hits them and now they're clueless. And look, we got away with loopholes for how many years? For years, this industry has gotten away with loopholes. Well, they should have put this there, but so we'll just go back door and go around it. When I think they should have seen the numbers increasing. They should have seen the fact that Big Tobacco was trying to buy some of these e-liquid companies out. They were trying as hard as they can. Some of the guys said, no, get the fuck out of here. But some of the guys already saw the big picture and said, let me collect and get out of the way. And that's what they did. And that hurt us. And it's not just Juul, because a lot of this stuff was taking place prior to Juul taking off, because they were already trying to buy Cutwood. They were trying to buy a bunch of other companies before the Juul even took off. So for me,
these guys were sitting back waiting, gaining intel in order to be able to cut off all the loopholes. And that's where we were at over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
As they did the one lump in 8816, then, the deeming, then they went on and did the PMTA, and they collected there, and then they collected with the tobacco with registering the products so they could gain more intel. It's been a fact-finding mission this whole time, and it still continues.
Yeah.
They're weeding out the industry till it gets to a manageable number, and then we'll get the regulations. By then, the BT guys, the Big Tobacco, will have the intel enough to be able to stomp our industry.
Right. Well, let me throw this.
They're not stupid.
Yeah, now let me throw this question to you, because we talked about this before and about having such older people running Congress. Do you, when we start getting that, say, another 10 years down the road, when we start seeing that, we start seeing that new generation step in there, in their 40s, the 30s, that are using this product? Because let's be honest, we're going to see a lot of people. If there's 11 million vapors in the United States of America, there's a future mayor or that's stepping into maybe a governor or working his way into city council or working his way into a federal seat that's going to have used this product successfully, and it's going to become a senator or become a congressman someday. How long do you think that's going to take? Because some of these bastards have been in there for too long.
We're seeing it in our state, right? Through the freshmen that are coming in over the past couple of years. Them and their staffers are using the product. So that's happening now. Yeah. And the answer to the question is, when enough of them are in seats to be able to openly speak about it confidently and credibly, and there's less of the others on the other side that don't know about the product or want to push over the product from old law or older people, legislators, when that scale gets tipped, you'll start hearing it and seeing it.
Yeah.
But it has to be tipped between House and Senate in these states or in our federal government. Yeah. And right now, our federal government needs a flush. Let's be honest, right? I mean, some of those people can barely walk, let alone get up and talk behind a podium.
Hey, Biden ran to his airplane.
If we can flush them, then we're okay. But, state-wise, we're seeing it in Florida, which is why you're kind of seeing
Yeah.
the way things are happening here.
Yeah.
But when it happens on a higher level, it sucks because we're seeing it here in Florida, but it's doing no good for anybody else.
Right. Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Our goal is to get it out and
Yeah.
broadcast it to some of the lawmakers, which is why I post the letter and stuff that DeSantis wrote and all that. But we got to get that out there. Now, some of our guys have made it to Congress.
Yeah.
So specifically Byron Donalds, he's up there, and we got a couple of more going hopefully this year. But Byron's up there, but he can't just, he'll be the only one there.
Right.
So
it'll
it's
be,
like,
it'll be,
you know,
what do you
guys,
call it?
I want to do this.
Political
but,
suicide.
you know, right. The moment he does it, he will have no credibility on in their mind to do anything.
Right.
So, you know, he could do it.
Until they need his vote for something else.
Right. But, you know,
then
that's
they're
the
best
thing.
friends.
It's like, man, it's tough. It's a tight line that they walk when they're not vested in the industry, but they gotta be there for us, because if his credibility gets ruined, he's not there for us anymore. Then he's one of us.
Yeah.
So we need them to work in the background about adult freedoms and things like that. So it's tough, man. So to put a time on it, it's up to everybody and how they vote, I guess, you know?
Well, yeah, some of those guys, I looked the other day and I'm like, fuck, 76, 78.
Yeah.
You know, there was very few of them that were under 60, and their career, let's be honest, they're career politicians. They've never had an outside job.
It's coming November. You'll see a shift. You'll see a shift in the mindset, but will it be too late?
Yeah. Well, hopefully there's a big change, because that's what I think. I mean, you know, and I'm not saying we need a bunch of 30-year-olds in there, because that's not going to happen. They're still going to be in their late 40s or early 50s, but you know, when you start thinking about somebody that is in their 70s and what they've been through, they've been in this country, they've been in this world a long time. When you're 76 years old, you've been around for quite a while, and you start thinking of where that person has been. So you're thinking. Like my mom's 84 years old, so she's back from 1939, you know, so you know they've seen a lot of stuff, they've seen a lot of bullshit and all that other stuff, but it's time to see some change, and I think these guys need to step aside and let other people in there that are there for our best interest and don't have somebody in their pocket. And that's the other problem we always talk about. When you're in Washington D.C. that long, your pockets have gotten filled a lot by a lot of people, you know, and it's sickening. It's sickening.
You got a lot of friends. Hey, by the way, you need to go to see Gavin Newsom and tell him.
Oh yeah, he's trying.
He's throwing around $100,000 campaign here in Florida.
Yeah. Well, you see what he's doing too. He's staying out of topics in California right now, because he doesn't want to get involved in anything and hurt his chances.
He's trying to set himself up for 2024, man.
What is he now? He is the is he the son-in-law of Posey?
I don't know what the hell he is.
He's related to her in some way. Yeah. I think so.
Oh
yeah, I think he married somebody in her family. I think.
Jeez.
Yeah, I think, because they all own their wineries up in Napa.
That speaks volumes.
Her and him both own wineries up in the Napa area. That was the big push, you know, with the COVID mask thing and shutting everybody down. But he kept the wineries open. That's a little shady, buddy.
So, you know, you're talking about that stuff, but Tim brought up a point. A lot of these guys open up, you know, holistic businesses and stuff like that, and that's cool. You do it for the good of the community and public health, you think, right? You hope.
Yeah.
But a lot of these guys that are making our laws aren't in those industries. They're more in the cigar industry, the wine industry, the attorneys, their law industry, and they're not in it to make anything better. They're in it to make money. So it's hard for them to understand that anybody would get in business to help public health.
Yeah.
And barely make anything. Keep the doors open.
Yeah, that was the whole push here with Nancy Pelosi, you know, getting a haircut at a salon and making their opening, coming in through the back door, and then him keeping the wineries open. Like, okay, you're telling everybody else to shut their doors, but you're keeping the wineries open. I mean, you can't get COVID while you're drinking a $75 bottle of wine. It just doesn't happen.
Right.
Oh man, I know. Yeah, I hope that there's some change, you know, coming. I mean, hey,
there's
all
change
respect
coming.
for them.
We just gotta hang in.
Yeah, all respect for anybody that can give up that much time in their life for this country. I respect that. You know what I mean? I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat. If you've given up 60 something years of your life for this country, whether it's as a politician or a military person, you're still doing it for this country. I mean, that's how I look at it. So I respect them for that, for giving up their, because that's not an easy job. Let's be honest. That's a 24-hour day job. That's not, you don't go home, you don't punch out at 5:30 if you're a congressman and go home. It doesn't happen. So I
Right.
respect them for that. But there needs to be some change. We're evolving as a nation. Our politicians should be able to do that as well. Change is good sometimes, not all the time. Otherwise, me, Tim, and Paul are going to move to Florida.
Come down, man.
Tim, we can't hear you.
So
Mic it up.
Georgia's still kind of safe for right now too.
Yeah, Georgia's all right.
Yeah, I mean we haven't had a lot of pushback or flack on much of anything. So
No.
I'm not saying something might not happen. I'm just saying up to this point it's
Do you
been
really
all
want us
quiet
there?
on the home. Well, I mean the only
you really
reason
want us there though, Tim. Be honest. Do you really?
no,
want
no, because you'll bring earthquakes and mudslides and friggin'
alligator?
all that California
have
crap with you.
alligators. You have alligators there. What am I saying?
All the California crap. We're starting to get it here. Don't California my Georgia.
Yeah. That's what Texas is saying too. Texas is like, hey, if you're moving here, leave your morals and any political ideas that you had in the state of California.
Wow.
Yeah, they don't mess around in Texas. They tell you how it is. So even like now this goes back to the 90s when I was working for United Van Lines. We were moving a lot of people into Arizona and Texas out of California. They were either going up north or they were going to Texas. So I was either going to Oregon and Washington a lot, or I was going to New Mexico, Arizona, New Mexico, or Texas. And I would pull in, and as I would get there the day before and park my truck and set up for the morning, and the neighbors would come out and ask me, "Where are these people from?" I go, "California." "Oh, great!" And they would go back in their house. I was like, "Hey, dude." Oh,
Jeez.
can you hate a whole state? No, I'm kidding. I hate a lot of state. Now I'm not going to upset people on the East Coast, dude.
Bottom line is, I'd move back to Florida in a heartbeat when I was living there. So much fun.
Yeah. Well, hey, at least there's some hope there in Hawaii with the governor. The governor's he says he's going to veto. He's going to veto that flavor ban if it goes through. So that's a good start right there. I can't even say his
Nice.
name. How do you even say that? LGE.
Lee.
How'd you say it?
Lee.
Is it
Yeah.
IGE? IG? Lee? I don't know. LG.
You said LGE. Lee.
Yeah, I'll go with it. That's what
Lee.
you say.
Yeah.
Yeah, Governor Dave E. whatever says he's likely to veto the ban on flavor vaping and tobacco products passed in May by the state legislature. So that's a good sign, because that was a lot of people were upset with that. They must have got a lot of petitions signed, because that was one of the calls to action, I think, on Kasa's page. I think it was. So that's pretty good. And I can't remember is what do you call it still out there? The manufacturer.
Which one?
What was the name of that group?
Well, Volcano originally was from Hawaii, not Florida.
Yeah, Volcano. Yeah, because that's where I got. That's my first DNA device.
Gone.
Yeah, it's gone.
No.
Yeah,
We
that's
ended
my
up
first DNA
acquiring
device.
one of their shops down in Inglewood. That was our Inglewood store's Volcano.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was my that Lava Box was my first DNA device, the Lava Box 75.
Have you still got it?
Yeah, I still got it. Yeah.
Right, send it to me, please. Send it to me, please.
The board stopped working.
So what? Send it to me, please.
Send it to me. Yeah, I wanted the big one, and it was sold out. So I said I'll settle for the 75-watt one, because at that time I was using the small. I was using the It was mouth to lung, and the God damn it, the high end RTA. What was it called? Come on,
High
Which
end.
one?
The K Fun?
K Fun. I had the K Fun sitting on top of the small K Fun on
Oh
there.
yeah.
Yeah, it worked really good together. That red and with the K Fun on top, the small one. It was a nice looking device. And then something happened to the board, so it makes the battery heat up, and then it shuts it off. Something went wrong. Something went wrong with the DNA board, and I didn't. It was past like a couple weeks past the warranty, so I was screwed. I think that was the DNA 75. The DNA 75 was in that one.
The
In what?
the DNA 75 is still one of the best boards. You can actually reprogram it.
Or I'll have to maybe it'll cost me more money to send it to you in Australia. I'll have to
I
look. I
will
still have
Just
the
download
software.
the eScribe software.
Yeah, I still have
Thank
the
you.
software.
I will teach you the ways of the dark side.
Okay, we'll have to do a one of these live together and fix it. I really loved that device. It was great. It was pocket. It's nice and pocket friendly, so it was real small and it fit in my pocket. It was pretty durable device. It's somewhere over here, somewhere over the rainbow. I have to look. Yep. I hope that wasn't your new part of your news there, Tim, about Hawaii, was it?
No.
Okay, good. Yeah.
What did you say? I missed the Hawaii. I thought they already had the vape ban there.
Yeah, the governor says that he is going to veto it.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Governor
I
Dave.
I was a little concerned about that because I felt a little weird because the holiday had kind of rolled through not that long ago, and I got an email from eCiggity, not the holiday, my birthday, and eCiggity sent me what's kind of an automated email because most vape sites you put your birthday in and they give you a couple of chips towards your point system or whatever, and they were wishing me a happy birthday from eCiggity, and I was thinking, are they still able to survive with the Hawaii vape ban? But no, I talked about that a while back. I did not talk about what you talked about though.
Yeah, that was on today. It was Jim's article. He says Hawaii Governor David Lee says he is likely to veto a ban on flavored vaping tobacco products passed in May by the state legislature. Likely
to veto.
That's a key word. That's
now.
a key word there.
He's
likely.
calling for more checks. They'll be there. Right. Likely is a big one. That's, hey guys, bring me some more money.
Right.
Oh, was it? You didn't have the school one in your news update, do you, Tim?
You covering all Timmy's news updates, man?
I'm making sure I don't. That's why I'm asking.
He should do that probably before the show, Nick. I'm just saying, but
hey, Nick, he's supposed to post them in the chat what his thing, but he stopped doing that, so I don't want to bother him because he's a hardworking individual.
Oh, okay. I got you.
I just let it slide. So now I'm just going to ask him: are you doing the schoolgirl thing? Is that part of your?
Are we going back to the whole episode of the girls that got strip searched?
Yeah. Are you?
I'm not talking about that either.
Charges were all dropped.
Shocker.
So school officials who searched girls for vaping resigned, and criminal charges were dropped. So,
they did resign.
Job.
Well, okay, but you know what? It's funny how that sort of works. It seems like that's enough.
Yeah.
As long as they go away,
yeah.
and they take attention off of the school, then they're likely to just drop the charges because they don't want to. That's really what the parents wanted anyway, right? They didn't really care so much that she got thrown in the clink or charges stuck. They're like, we just don't want her working in our school system anymore. The old bat.
Get on out of here. Take your vape gear with you.
By the way, I did pull up the regulations.gov on the citizens petition for American vapor manufacturers. Okay. And on that site, and I don't know if this is the grand total, but right now we're standing at 3,183 signatures. So that's still extremely low compared to what we're told is the total number of vapors that exist.
And
I'll throw into the equation that there are just some that are completely aloof at what's going on right now. And they're not the type of people that are typically in a position to really be researching this or are on, really know enough to know enough that there's petitions that exist. But I think there's a lot of people who know about what's going on and understand that these types of campaigns happen. So hold on one second.
I'm getting
You
rid
got
of
it, Tim.
I got it. I got them. I get
Here
rid
come
of
them,
him.
but we haven't had one in a
We
while.
haven't had one in a
so,
while.
No,
we
we've
haven't
done,
had one in a while. I'm shocked.
Yeah.
They woke up. Did you get
Don't
them
take it
both?
off too quick. Paul's writing that down.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I get
wanted to know.
Paul needs the link to that page there.
I'm trying
Get
to.
it.
Oh, now they're back again. I'm trying to block it.
He's already clicked it.
I reported
Oh,
them.
it's coming.
I'm
It's
trying
still
to
going.
block it.
Well,
I
no,
blocked
you
them
got-
too
you-
and report them.
I don't have a
Pornographic and
spanner,
sexual
so
material.
I don't have a spanner, so I can't block them.
I got them. I got you, you damn sons of bitches. And I removed it. Yeah, I know.
Disappear.
I mean, I don't know. They've been gone for quite a while, so they must have just woke up, or they got a new computer. Mommy and Daddy bought a new computer for them. Oh man. What else you guys got? What do you got going on there, Mr. Paul? How are things in cold Australia
In
now?
the great down under.
Look, don't even go there for the minute. After what we thought was going to be a positive article on the ABC here went completely and utterly sideways. All they targeted was the illegal black market on disposables. They gave very few people on our side of the fence even a chance to speak. And when they did, it was cut short in such a way the advocates and the people that actually work within the industry and behind the scenes, including Dr. Colin Mendelsohn.
Yeah.
And I could not fucking believe what they did to him. They put words into his mouth that he took money from the tobacco industry. And I said, this is not even fair or funny what you're doing to him. I was invited to speak on that program, yet the producer never got back to me to do the final interviews. Even after phone discussions, I said, fine. Now, and I'm going to call you out live here, Genevieve, you'll be copying a lot of emails both from myself, my lawyer, and a few of the industry heavyweights here in Australia that would like to speak to you openly. And this is an open invitation to you. You're the producer of Four Corners in Australia. We would like you to put your case forward here, live, across the world, so you can explain why you approved this program and you're equal or in line or backdooring what's going on here in Australia. I'm sorry, but you did the wrong thing. You openly claimed that Colin Mendelsohn or Grace Tobin claimed that Colin Mendelsohn was a shill for big tobacco. No. He has worked in tobacco harm reduction and his own clinic. He is a medical practitioner. Bang. He should have had the floor. You tried throwing him under the bus. No dice. It doesn't work that way anymore. We would like you to explain your point and how that program got put together. The hell's going on here? I got bad lighting already out of nowhere.
That was me coughing. Sorry.
No. But everything's gone pear-shaped here in a week yet again. And the dark money and the people that are trying to throw Australia to the wolves, it's just gotten even worse. It's an absolute joke. It's not fair or funny anymore. And honestly, I could get really, really, really pissed off, but I would like to have an open table discussion with the people behind that program live. But I don't think any of them are going to be willing to do that.
Yeah, it's, you bring that up. You do you feel that they didn't want you to come because you were too knowledgeable? It seems like that now, doesn't it? It seems like they always, that was the big thing when they had the thing out in Washington. They told everybody, hey, they're going to try to approach most of the vapors that were walking around trying to get people to say the wrong thing. And that was a big push telling everybody, hey, don't say nothing. Just, direct them to Matt or direct them to, who else was out there? I forget who else was out there with them. There was a couple of people from CASA as well, I think, was out there. But they said, go talk to those people and just, and then you saw it, the only interview that I saw, and I don't know, I'd have to ask Nick if it got cut up, but his interview, it didn't seem like it got cut. He got his TV moment. You know what I mean? He got to get his words out without it being cut up and like they normally do. But that was a show, though, right? I think that was a talk show. It was one of those types of documentary talk shows, whatever you want to call it, that he was in there with.
But here's the backstory to it. The producer of the program, Four Corners here in Australia, which is widely regarded for their investigations.
Yeah.
Similar to 60 Minutes, and I've been on 60 Minutes. I've been on the ABC before. I've been interviewed by literally every channel here in Australia, and a couple of radio programs that I wouldn't do back in the day. But this one was so damaging, not only to their program, because get this, everyone knows that nicotine without a prescription is illegal here in Australia. They tried putting ties to advocacy groups directly to government and how we're giving donations. Yes, that can be done. Not a problem. They're pointing out our direct connection to specific politicians. Again, that can be done. If we have someone like as a friend within government, so be it. Yeah. Even though they don't like them now that they're not in power, they went after us. That's the next part. But when you actually start going after Dr. Alex Wodak and Dr. Colin Mendelsohn, real doctors here, not fun and games doctors, not a public health doctor. These are real doctors.
Yeah.
That starts to hurt. And they know that they've got a thorn in their side. Then there was one section in the program where Greg Hunt, they wheeled out the former health minister here in Australia.
Yeah.
And he said that he was not willing to meet with any of the lobby groups or even to meet with industry. Why? You're the federal health minister. You look after health for the whole of Australia. Why did you not want to meet with us? Because we know the truth and you're being told to shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Simple. And we've been told now through like back channel legal that we have the opportunity to flip these processes on their head. And we can actually legally now go after certain people within government on a human rights issue. And vaping has always been a human rights issue. If you don't have the opportunity to choose to save your life or your health, that becomes a human rights issue. Game over.
Yep. They can get their needles though.
Correct. And one of the doctors that was interviewed, Dr. Alex Wodak, was one of the gentlemen, and he's been in harm reduction for coming up on 40 years now. And he was the one behind, or part of the group behind, the first safe injecting room here in King's Cross in New South Wales, here in Australia. He, by himself, has saved so many lives. Here we go. Pippa's appeared. Hello, Pippa. It's unbelievable what went on in that program. Like, myself and Pippa have spoken, well, Pippa's spoken to Grace Tobin, and I hadn't spoken to her, but I had spoke to Genevieve, her actual producer, or the producer of Four Corners. She actually wanted invitations to walk through labs and everything. And I said, it doesn't work that way. You don't just get an invitation to walk through a lab. You need to go through all the protocols, all of it. How does it work? What, a camera team in a lab? Yeah, good luck. It doesn't work that way either. They all need to be brought to the same level of protocol to walk through a lab. Doesn't work that way unless you've got that knowledge behind you. And yeah, Grace Tobin, oh my God. Yeah, puppet master. Yeah. She is 100%. Whoever blocked that, it needs to be brought up.
Which one?
Pippa's live. Yeah.
I didn't block anybody.
No. It can't be seen in the actual chat.
Oh, I don't know why he's not seen in the example box. I mean, he's not seen in there, but he's seen here.
Yeah, I know.
See it. Yeah.
But it's in YouTube for some reason.
Yeah, I don't see him on YouTube side, which is funny.
No.
I don't know why not.
No. Yeah.
It's YouTube thingy. That's weird that it's here, but it's not there.
No. This is the really funny part. They came out and said that smoking is equivalent to vaping.
Yeah.
Straight out. On national TV. Really?
Yeah. I see him go. He come back up, but here he goes. Now he's coming up. Now I see him on the YouTube side there.
No, Pippa is a she.
I'm sorry, she is, yeah.
Yeah, I saw Pippa's messaging the whole time.
Yeah, I don't see it. It didn't see it on the example. It's not on the example.
No.
It just now.
I didn't see
it. There. No, it's not there.
Paul was saying it. I was like, huh?
Yeah.
No, it's not there. But Pippa's actually got a really cool article that she wrote on her blog the other day, and she tore the crap out of her and the whole program. Thank you, Pippa, for doing that, because there's one part that I'd really like to give you credit for. Youth are important, though. When their parents die from smoking because media outlets like the ABC turn them on the most effective way to quit on the planet, they will be coming for you. The children are the future. They will lead the way to you and those who don't help smokers quit honestly. We'll have to deal with that. And it's truth. There's some great quotes in here, Pippa, and I'm going to put this into our private chat, and I want this actually put out to the rest of the world because you tore strips off.
Hey, does Dr.
what was
Mendelsohn
going
see
on?
patients? Does he still see patients?
Yes.
It's got to be hurting him financially with them saying that nonsense and trying to make him look.
I
don't know if you have, you take him to court.
Well, that's a question that we've got right now, and we've got friends in New Zealand and in the United States that have actually watched the program. They've said now it's time for lawsuits. I'm sorry, it's time for lawsuits because that was even more detrimental to what we're trying to get going here than what we've seen in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Then we get to one point of the program that the girl, Grace Tobin, actually, what we call them here is Uber vapes or Uber disposables, where you can make a phone call and they deliver illegal disposables to you. And there was a section blacked out in the car, and it's actually a fucking Uber driver. Right? Hands over a wad of cash, and out comes a bag of vapes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
He didn't have the trench coat guy? Didn't have the trench coat guy with all the watches? Remember those guys? You want to watch?
Dude, this was a Toyota Camry hybrid.
Yeah.
It's an Uber driver.
Yeah, I guess it's 2022, so it's the Uber driver now.
Yeah, but you even get into Uber here in Australia in some Ubers, and there's a list on the headrest of do you need vapes?
Oh, wow.
Or do you need disposables? I went, what the fuck? I got an Uber the other day, and I went, this can't be fucking real.
Shit, here they ask if you want to buy a bottle of water for $1. There you get vapes. Damn.
Paul, you're giving me ideas.
Nick's going to start a fleet of Uber drivers.
Yeah, but seriously, like Pippa's saying it right there. Grace Tobin broke the law legitimately on TV. Will she be charged? No.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Why? Oh, because I'm a journalist.
Yeah.
Sorry, but you broke the fucking law.
Yeah. Yeah.
You openly went and purchased an illegal product. You don't have a prescription. You can be fined and charged. And I would. Oh no, they're back again.
I got them. I'm gonna block them both ways.
I would love to see Grace dragged over the coals for that one, and whoever the driver was in the car for that matter, because the people here in the vaping industry that are trying to hold the fort right now, we're losing the battle hand over fist, dude. Sorry, but it needs to be thrown upside down and
well, Paul,
back, back on the government.
The thing that needs to happen both there and here is some of these groups and some of these individuals need like blanket lawsuits dropped on them by the industry. So you start dropping lawsuits, not one guy. You start taking the industry with a big attorney, not just some little attorney, and you go and you start slamming people with suits. It can't be that expensive to do it. But you start dropping those suits, you're going to get attention. And they're going to start thinking about this misinformation. Now, that's kind of what we need to do here too.
Yeah.
If we could just find an attorney to take it, that would actually start slamming them with suits. We can go for it.
Law school. Need to get him right out of law school, Nick.
Yeah, but you need somebody that's reputable, like their header, that stationery that says, some of these big attorneys, and you start smacking that on there, and it's like, whoa,
Just
what
call
just
Sal.
happened?
Just call
Just
Sal.
blanket them out.
You need one of those lawyers. You need a Sal lawyer.
Yeah.
I'll sue anybody.
Yeah. And just go.
Yeah.
That's what's going to change it. That's step one, right? And then actually go after them for it, because the misinformation is affecting public health negatively.
Right.
So, it's easily said, but funding, it's the separate issue.
Paul using
So
a picture
funding
from
is the
fucking
problem.
25 years
So-
ago. I was just
Yeah.
you see that?
Who's that? That must be his Tinder profile, huh?
It's fucking his tender. That picture's like 25 years old.
It's like, Paul, what are
Actually-
you fishing for over there?
What is that from right out of high school or what? That picture. Tim, you're muted. Tim.
Actually, that's 10 years ago, arsehat.
John, I'm going to send you a real picture of Paul. Hang on.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's his IMDb headshot right there.
I'm going to send you some real
is
pictures of Paul.
Limpkin.
Are you ready?
That was when he was in Crocodile Dundee 4.
Yeah, 4.
God, I hope I can find him. Paul, if I can find these pictures, man.
Paul had hair.
That was actually from
I shouldn't laugh. I got no hair left. Fucking
2016, arsehat.
Don't turn this into a hair conversation.
Not.
I'll have
just
to
call
leave.
Sal.
That's Paul's. That's the picture of Paul, like sober before he went to like the festival for like all the house and trance music, and before he went to like the massive rave.
Yeah,
that was the sober shot. That's the sober
You better
shot.
hope I can't find these pictures.
Yeah, that's
You
Paul
guys
before
gotta
the
see
carnival.
this.
After is what you're seeing
show you a
now.
picture
It's
of
like a
Paul.
week of partying. He turned to
Where is
look
it?
at him now.
Oh my God.
Timmy, are you
Where
ready
is
for some
Paul?
news, my friend?
Yeah, we can do some news.
All right, let me give you a little bumpy bump. Bump.
I want to do that now once. See, we don't have that anymore. I haven't gotten a newspaper in eons, but like I would just for once just like to stand out front of my robe and then throw a cold cup of coffee at the paper boy as he rides by on his bike.
Yeah, we missed out. I think honestly, I don't know about Paul, but I'm assuming all three of us at one point in time were paper boys.
I was.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
I was
13
years old, man. I did that to make money.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Damn right.
tapping our papers. We're
Tap 'em.
tapping the paper while Nick looks for the pictures, the incriminating photos of Paul, the drop bears pictures that nobody was supposed to see. These are ones that are going straight to TMZ after the show too. All right, we're tapping. We're tapping the
screenshot
papers.
from
Tippity
Pornhub.
Tapperton. What's up, folks? What's up, people? How's everybody doing? Let's do some news here. I did have 3 things to talk about, but we touched on one at the beginning of the show, which is fine because we were going to touch on that subject anyway. So I'm going to spare you guys with the advocacy portion, which is the save the synthetic nicotine. So we know about that. Sign the petition. Like I said, on regulations.gov, there's only roughly 3,200 signatures. That is just subpar. I feel confident that most of the people on the show that watch the show have filled out that petition. But spread the word any way you can. Get it out onto the social media platforms, your Twitters, your vape groups and stuff like that. Get people to head over and sign that petition. I think it is a chance for us to be vocal and be heard. Anyhow, so we're going to talk about a couple things, right? So as we all know, the FDA, cracking knuckles, decided that they were going to go ahead and give Juul the old karate chop, the old judo chop. They just needed to take their products off the shelves. Stat, right? We all sat there and thought that Juul was going to pretty much skate and get through because they're 35% owned by Altria, big tobacco. Money, shmoney, money. They were gonna sail on through. which was the one thing that most people who know anything about vaping, they only know one thing, and that's Juul. So for them, it was a win, right? Well, lo and behold, 24 hours after the imposed ban, there was basically an injunction set forth by an appeals court judge to halt that while arguments are ongoing. So you knew that was coming, but unfortunately, the FDA hurt old Jules' widow baby feelings with giving him the MDO there. So Juul has now stepped forward. They had some court arguments that were set forth. And the headline as it reads is Juul says, let me share my screen. I always forget to share
Hey,
anymore.
Tim, share your screen, Tim.
Yeah, thanks for reminding me. I appreciate it. There we go. Bam. All right. All right, so let's blow that sucker up. All right, we'll go to 150. All right, so Juul says the FDA overlooked key data in e-cigarette application before banning the sales. So they're making the claim that the FDA just kind of brushed over some really important information that the FDA more or less claimed that they did not provide to show, in essence, net health, public health benefits, right? So this all just got started the other day. So Juul argued in court documents filed on Tuesday, just yesterday, that the FDA overlooked a mountain of data that had been included in their PMTA application showing the benefit to public health. Juul also stated that the decision to ban them was based on deeply flawed reasons. There's probably multiple reasons, but we're going to touch on a couple specific ones here. So in the court documents, Juul said it had included more than 110 scientific studies and over 125,000 pages of data and analysis that shows its products offered substantial public health benefits. Okay, well, I know that Juul kind of lingered a lot longer than some of the other MDOs that were pushed out. Basically, a lot of the small players kind of got their MDOs handed down pretty quickly. I'm probably willing to bet that some of those smaller vape companies, while they may have submitted some scientific stuff, even though I don't think anybody really had the time to do any true in-depth scientific studies per se, I highly doubt any one of them submitted 110 scientific studies along with 125,000 pages of data and analysis. Now, I already hate paperwork to begin with, but I can't imagine being somebody on the FDA and having to thumb through 125,000 pages of data and analysis. I don't know how any one person could glean the answer that they needed by just brushing that over. You know what I mean? I have to kind of agree here that they probably did just sort of skim it and probably just already had a predetermined angle, I think, for ulterior motives in this particular case. But that's a lot of paperwork. The company claimed its e-cigarettes were helpful in switching people over from traditional cigarettes to the electronic kind, which lessened their exposure to deadly toxicants. The FDA ban on Juul was announced last week, and one day after a federal appeals court temporarily blocked the decision pending further arguments. So I'm going to read the Juul statement that was down here, which would be the one in all quotations. Instead of praising a significant public health victory, FDA denied JLI's applications for arbitrary reasons and demanded that retailers remove all Juul products from their shelves or face immediate action, Juul wrote in its argument, further claiming that the FDA's decision could not be squared with science. And I think that probably is a resonating factor in most of the MDOs anyway. Goalposts being moved aside, I think a lot of these MDO decisions were not based on any particular science. I think it was basically based on preconceived emotion and sort of the temper of the current environment, especially with the argument about the youth epidemic and this, that, and the other thing, that unfortunately Juul was probably had a huge target on their back to begin with, because they really, I guess when you get down to the nitty gritty of it all, I'd say like they were probably the largest focal centerpiece to this whole entire fight to begin with. When you consider the fact that they got in trouble for their quote unquote marketing towards kids by using different platforms that were more visible to kids, that people were more inclined to be attracted to their product just because they had the marketing campaigns to really kind of put stuff out. Like you didn't really see our market, our vape market stuff really advertising in those same types of forums. Like I never went on the magazine rack and opened up a GQ and you opened it up and you saw like a DNA mod, with a nice RTA on it and this classy picture of a bottle of e-liquid trying to peddle vape industry stuff. I mean, it was always the convenient little jewel that had this sleek little pen style thumb drive look to it. And they could reach mass forms of advertising, especially through social media, especially on the outsides of buildings. I mean, when they attacked that market in terms of the convenience stores, the C stores, I mean, their pictures were all over the glass out front. Yep. It was all over signage behind the counter. I mean, they basically did the same kind of crap that any tobacco company would do, advertising Newports or Marlboro Reds or American Spirits or whatever. It's like you can walk up to any convenience store or cash and carry food type place at your local gas station, and like what's half the window? There's hot dogs. Okay, there's the hot dogs you can get 24/7. The Slurpee,
pizza slice,
the Slurpee, or the icy thingy. The slushy machine. 2 Pepsis for like $2.75 or whatever, and then like 50 freaking cigarette signs, right? With all the pricing.
Tim, you spend way too much time in front of those stores.
I'm just highly observant, John, and so I tend to absorb what I see sort of like in my periphery as much as like what my general focus is. But Juul was always very heavily advertised outside the store. I mean, let's be realistic. There wasn't a whole lot of vape stuff inside C stores probably before Juul. I think I remember seeing a little bit at the grocery store every once in a while, or Target or Walmart or something to that effect. But I never really saw it in abundance at the gas stations and the C stores. So that said, the company countered the FDA's claim that Juul had not provided data such as aerosol data on the impact of 4 chemicals. Juul claimed it had in fact provided over 6,000 pages worth of data on this point.
Wow.
With their pushback on the FDA, they effectively insinuated that the FDA had bowed to political pressure from lawmakers and further claimed that there has been an unprecedented level of congressional interference in the approval process. And of course, right? I mean, why wouldn't there be? Only because I mean that's lobbyist money. That's money. That's favor money that's coming across the table, and they're going to go knock on some doors and go, "Hey, I'm gonna go down and talk to the head of the FDA. I'm gonna get in what's his name? His last starts with a G. I'm gonna get in his ear, and I'm gonna tell him, hey, look, I got this coin rolling in, and I don't know if this stuff is documented, but I'll make sure some of that gets put in and gets shoved over to the FDA. But yeah, it's not surprising to see that there would be some internal political pressure from people high up on the food chain there to try to get kind of get their way because they were paid some favor money to try to influence some other people. So I'm not surprised by that at all. And Juul went on to say that the company would suffer significant irreparable harm if the ban was allowed to stand. So, I mean, yeah, in their case, at this point, they only own, I think it's something like 40% of the market to that degree. So they're not quite the 70% that they once were. Puff Bar's kind of taken that out of their hands. But yeah, I mean, if they were to go on a ban, meaning all of their products, because I mean, to date, with this MDO means nothing was given the approval to go through. So like they didn't even get their device or a tobacco flavor through. They flat out got an MDO.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure Bloomberg and his sycophants probably ratcheted up the pressure a little bit and had him come in backdoor and probably push the FDA that direction. That said, I probably would expect to see a lot of this court activity and these lawsuits and things to kind of linger. Juul's got the money to fight it. They got the money to sustain right now. Their products are not removed from the shelves as it stands. I even did my own accounting of that. Just did my own checkboxing. Like I actually had to go into a couple convenience stores in the last week or so just to get something to drink. And I just kind of looked around behind the counter if I could see if Juul stuff was still on the shelf and if any of that stuff was there. Yeah, I mean, I saw it was still there. So I did not know until more recently, within the last 24 hours, that that they had gotten a kind of an effective stay for right now. But I would expect these court cases to linger for some time. So if you're a Juul head, you can still get your Juul. But I do think that if Juul loses this battle, which I don't think they will, I'm sure they'll figure out a way to negotiate something. Odds are that would be a big hit to the vapor industry, because if you take down the Leviathan like that, it's kind of like the whole proverbial, cut the head of the dragon off. You kind of weaken the dragon the rest of the way. So maybe that was the mentality in a lot of it. Maybe it was, cut the head off and you effectively kill the rest of the beast to some degree. I mean, we already know millions, thousands of companies got their MDOs in the small vapor industry. So my takeaway on this particular article was, I said, my guess is that this will stay in the court systems for a while yet, and Juul will remain on the shelves. We should not be surprised to see that Juul fought back against their MDO. Well, of course. They're not going to just roll over that. I think to some degree they probably felt like they had rolled over enough. I mean, they did pull all of their fruit flavors and candy flavors and dessert, whatever they had. I don't use Juul, so I wasn't up on all of their flavors and stuff, and they left only the mint, menthol, and tobacco. I think were the only
Yeah,
three
they didn't
that
hesitate at all. They just pulled that shit off. They didn't even fight it, nothing. They just said, okay, boom, gone.
Well, right, because I think in the grander scheme of things, they knew that people, elsewhere in the vapor industry, if they wanted flavors and things of that nature, probably to them wasn't that big of a deal, because they already knew their product was popular enough that if they left tobacco and menthol or mint, that would be enough to cover most bases for somebody going in. I mean, if they were they like tobacco, the taste, they don't like mint or menthol, then they had tobacco as an alternative. So I don't think they wanted to fight it, because they were already under enough scrutiny to begin with.
Yeah. I think too. I'm willing to bet
kids.
even their tobacco flavor number sales, I bet were pretty fucking high too.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure.
Originally, there was 18 flavors in their lineup, and they broke it down, and then they got rid of the fruits.
Yeah.
And to be quite honest, the tobaccos aren't much chop either.
Yeah. Oh, Tim, I was gonna say that picture of the bear. That was the FDA, and that was Juul running from the bear in that little picture that thing in the article.
Oh, shoot, sorry.
Yeah, we're watching you hit like on her picture there. No,
Yeah,
the
sorry.
bear, the bear. That's the FDA, and that's Juul running back there. I want to make a meme out of that so bad. That picture right there.
But, you're talking about the bear right here.
Yeah, the bear's the FDA, and that's Juul running.
Yeah, true. Very, 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 very true. Anywho, but that, did you find the pictures finally, Nick? He's still looking for the
pictures.
pictures.
About FDA and Juul, it's crazy, because I was in the same room when that dropped. I was in the same room as Puff Bar, Juul, and the FDA, and Altria. That was a crazy moment.
Oh, I'll bet. Well, anyway, I expect this Juul fight to continue for some time. So that said, this ain't over yet. I don't think you're going to see Juul go anywhere anytime soon. If anything, they'll drag this thing out for as long as it needs to go until they get their way. So let's move on. We're going to leave the United States on this next article. We're going to go to New Zealand.
Oh,
We're going to
I
go
don't
to
know I was
the
gonna
land
do
of the Kiwis, right?
I was gonna do the song, but I don't know that song.
Hey, I'm gonna hang in here as long as I can. I got 6% left, but
All right, no
okay.
problem.
Well, we're 10 minutes away.
10 minutes out.
I know
10
I'm hanging
minutes
in,
out.
brother.
All right,
hanging in with you.
so
I want to hear about this.
Oh, hey, what's up, girl?
I wanted to talk a little bit about this story because I just think it's another shining example. I mean, we hear all the time about the United Kingdom and how they've sort of embraced vaping scientifically and from a social perspective. I'm sure there's some people that don't agree with it, on a personal level, but that doesn't really matter. Legally, the right has been given to the citizens to vape. And we've heard plenty of stories about how it's being encouraged in the health sector, that in the UK that they actually had put vape shops within the hospitals to try to get people off of cigarettes and onto e-cigarettes. So New Zealand is kind of following suit and taking that path as well. So a New Zealand hospital leads the way by giving vapes to patients who smoke. So let's talk a little bit about that. So, nice. This is it's kind of a feel-good article in a world of a bunch of horrifying articles. So, I'm gonna probably butcher this. So, Paul, help me out here, buddy, because you're from you're there
Neck of the woods.
Yeah, your neck of the woods. Okay, good gravy. Here goes nothing. The Wanganui. Did I get it? The Wanganui District Health Board has announced that its hospital on New Zealand's North Island will go smoke-free as of Monday. So they've already gone smoke-free as of Monday. They also announced that patients would be given free vapes and encouraged to use them while in the, here we go again, Te Awina. That's two words, T-E, Te,
Two words.
Awina, A-W-H-I-N-A, or Ahina, Acute Mental Health Ward. The DHD substantiated that vaping is 95% less harmful and that vapes are a great tool for quitting smoking, and that studies show that vaping is more effective for cessation than NRT. So they've effectively adopted the same sort of language and scientific back study that UK Health has been promoting for some time. So Voxy made a statement down here. All right, so it says, we have a comprehensive support cessation process in place and Vortic disposable vapes being offered to assist with the stopping process, wrote a representative on the Voxy website. For those who would normally smoke, it won't be a cold turkey process, right? Because it's a whole different animal when you got people in a mental health hospital, right? These are usually people that are already challenged with depression or schizophrenia or bipolar disorder, borderline this, borderline that. So I mean, those people are already having a tough time, as it were, accommodating, acclimating to life in general, just due to their mental health issues. And it's been shown that smoking is prevalent with people who suffer mental deficiencies in that regard. I think we talked about this on a show quite some time ago. I think we talked to a couple of the people that were in the chat about how it was likely that that people who suffered depression and things of that nature were more inclined to smoke and things like that as a coping mechanism. So in this same regard, these people are the type of people that were more inclined to be smokers, and then you're going to turn your facilities smoke-free. You're really going to create a bit of an issue with these particular patients who are in there for help and medications and therapy and all kinds of treatments. But now you're going to make it smoke-free, and you're basically going to take away the one thing that they kind of rely on, right? So it's a good thing that these disposable vapes were made possible. So New Zealand now joins the UK in offering vaping products to hospitalized people. So I wanted to read, her name is Rosie McMenamin. Rosie McMenamin had a comment that right here. I think this is the one. We have chosen June 27th to align with Matariki, the Maori New Year, and to strengthen the message around positive change, said Rosie McMenamin, the Tobacco Control Coordinator for the Public Health Center. So they're trying to. The significance in this, I'm not really sure I get it entirely, but they just wanted to align with a particular New Year to strengthen this message. So staff who work in the. Go ahead.
It's the Maori New Year.
Okay.
It's similar to the different moon festivals around the world, but the Maori New Year, yes. But brilliant job in this. Brilliant job.
Yep. So staff who work in the ward are also being encouraged to go smoke free, and they too will be offered free nicotine products. So I wanted to go through a little bit more detail here. So staff, I'm sorry, let me go to page 2 of my notes. Yeah. Did you say my name?
I said 2.
Say my name. Say my name. Sorry.
Oh, no,
Anyway.
Tim. No, not that song.
Smokers, including large numbers of people with mental health diagnosis, typically have a serious problem when admitted to the hospital or to inpatient drug treatment. Impatient? You mean inpatient or impatient? Did I write that word wrong? Wait, where's my drugs? I'm impatient. Go ahead and give me my drug treatment. I gotta get it now.
That is inpatient.
Yeah, I think that was supposed to be in with the N as in Nancy, people.
Yeah.
Inpatient drug treatment. So if you're going to make the facility smoke free, in order for them to have a cigarette, they can't go just outside now and have a cigarette. They have to be accompanied by a staff member when they go.
Yeah.
So it's an inconvenience to the staff member, especially if the people that are staffed currently at the desk or attending the beds don't smoke. Because then they're going to have to keep running downstairs and going outside every 5 minutes to take them out for a cigarette. So some hospitals and treatment programs have even now banned smoking outdoors as well. So they can't smoke indoors, can't smoke outdoors. So they said that in a lot of these cases, NRTs were offered, but we all know that their efficacy is low, which leads to withdrawal and leads to many patients leaving the hospital against medical advice. So they're already in there for treatment, but because they're going through withdrawal, their nicotine withdrawals, and can't get their cigarettes, they're not staying for their treatments. So this is another form of harm reduction as well, right? So if you give them something to, curb that nicotine, that need for the nicotine and their coping mechanism with smoking, which, vaping does offer the hand-to-mouth activity, then they're not leaving the centers for treatment to go chase cigarettes somewhere. So they're not losing the patient count. So Morewa Glover commented at the bottom and said, the lack of compassion for people who smoke and rejection of vaping has no doubt contributed to tragic and entirely preventable deaths. Morewa Glover, director of the Center of Research Excellence, Indigenous Sovereignty and Smoking in New Zealand. Boy, that's a mouthful. Let's say that together.
Dr. Mawea Glover.
Mawea. You don't say the R. It's like Sade. You don't say the R.
Sade.
No, you say it. Mawea.
Mawea Glover. Yeah. Yeah, but you're throwing the W before the E, and that's what's throwing me off. But that's fine. If that's how you say it, that's how you say it.
Morewa. Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay. I can't say it anymore. I give up.
You said say it together.
No, the rest of it.
Just say, I think it's Dr. Glover.
Very
Correct.
good. Dr. Glover. No, but I was talking about the rest of it. the director of the Center of Research Excellence, Indigenous Sovereignty and Smoking in New Zealand.
Even the chat's doing it now.
Exactly. Thank you, everyone. I know I sound like I have mush mouth right now. I can't. Yes, there you go. Thank you, Liana.
Like,
I'm just.
You're reading a tough one, Tim. I got to give it to you.
Yep.
He's the son of a school teacher.
I am, and Mom always taught me to just pronounce things the way that they're spelled.
You're doing good.
So,
You're doing good. You have
Dr. Glover, but that's a mouthful. The Center of Research Excellence, Indigenous Sovereignty. God, I can't even say that. Sovereignty and Smoking in New Zealand. Told filter. There have been a few people who have
the CRE, the ISS.
MISSISSIPPI. There we go.
CRE.
I'm gonna bring the mouse. I'm gonna bring the mouse back out again.
Exactly. Okay.
Keep the mouse in the pocket.
Exactly. Does that mouse vape?
Yeah, he vaped. He's part
Okay.
of the.
Was he part of the study? Was he
he's
part of the study? Okay.
In
There
the
have been a few.
Varroa.
Yeah. There have
He's
been
a
a few.
survivor.
Yes. There have been a few people who have died after leaving the hospital so that they could have a cigarette. Did you know that?
That's insane.
Yep.
They get
People
hit by
who
a
are
car or something.
Something. They could have
No,
committed
because they
suicide.
couldn't get their meds, their treatment
that's
from
true.
the
Yeah,
hospital,
that's
from
true.
like
That's true.
surgery, post-surgery and stuff.
People who were
So
under
they're smoked.
observation for suicidal ideation. So they committed suicide.
Yeah, that's sad.
No one who smokes should have to leave hospital or observation wards to obtain nicotine delivered in an effective, safer form. It's simply barbaric. I wholeheartedly agree. I applaud New Zealand for taking this stance and offering these disposable vapes to these patients because they are in many ways a lot less fortunate than we are. I mean, we're what you might call normal. And we're able to cope and find ways to effectively cope. We're a lot more resourceful. We don't suffer some of the same, mental challenges in the sense that we're inclined to maybe self-harm or do something along those lines. So that said, these people certainly needed something like this. So way to go,
New Zealand.
New Zealand. The Wanganui District Health Board's vaping policy is an example of how to deliver compassionate care for hospitalized patients who smoke. Other countries should learn from it. Hello, United States. Are you listening? Hello, McFly. Are you listening? Anyhow, but those are your two news reports for the evening. One feel good, one about somebody's feelings who got hurt, and you can still buy their damn stuff. And go sign the petition. Save synthetic nicotine.
Yes, sir.
I'll do it like the GIF. I'll do it like the GIF. I'll be just do it. Just do it. Anyway, but that's your news, and John, back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Mr. Tim.
Yes.
We're back. Like, follow, and share, people.
And the petition is actually worldwide.
Yep.
So jump on board, people, please.
Yeah, we should.
I've been fighting for synthetic for the last 2 years. But, I'm only some, idiot in the backwater here in Australia. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, we need everybody to step up and do their part. I mean, it's basically everybody has autofill on their computers, on their phones, your tablets. I don't care what you're using. You don't even have to type it. Just move your mouse pointer into the little box, click it, and it'll all pop in there for you.
Yep.
And you're pretty much done. I think you can add some personal
Yeah,
information.
you can always add your own content, and they actually include, if you go on there, they even give a section there where they give you talking points that you can address to. So even if you don't want to stick with the content that they've left, you can always modify that to whatever suits you as well. Nick's back. He found another burner phone so he could get back on the show.
I can't miss the goodbyes.
Burner phone. But
he came in like the dog.
Oh God, here we go again.
Woof, woof.
But
Nick is, hold on, Paul. Nick is saying, I want that hair.
That Fabio hair.
Go ahead, Paul.
But no, I think it's time that we have Nancy back on, Nancy Lucas from CAFRA,
Yeah.
and we'll invite Dr. Mywao Glover as well to come and sit down with us.
Yeah,
And
it's tough right now. Everybody's on vacation, man.
Sorry?
I said it's tough. Everybody's on vacation right now.
Well, Nancy
Yeah.
and Dr. G just got back from the conference, the GFN in Poland, with a lot of really cool information.
Yeah.
So,
all right, hold on, Paul. Real quick. I wanted to swing back to Nick. We only have a few minutes before we have to sign off, but
sure.
I wanted Nick to talk a little bit about what took place in Florida and how you felt things went during that time you were there. How did you feel like did you feel like your message got out? Were people listening?
Yeah, people were listening. I had my topic was easy, right? It was dealing with clientele and how it changed the landscape changed since COVID. So I had that part. That was pretty easy. The tone of the room was kind of different because it was a nicotine conference. So you had every type of nicotine manufacturer, vendor there. We go to it every chance we get. There wasn't one last year, but there was the year before. Very informative, learned a lot of things. But what I took away mostly was the fact that synthetic is something that is probably a thing of the future. It's coming. I believe that that's what it's going to be. And some of these products didn't get enough time to get reviewed. That's clear. So there's a purpose there. There's something going on. FDA person there had no answers. He was a PMTA person. So he was more in regards to the one that sat down and read all those documents that we sent in and wasn't able to answer anything that would really lead us in the right direction. But I think that the overall tone is synthetic is something that's here to stay.
Yeah. Good. Yeah, I know you spoke, and so did Allison spoke too as well. So I was just wanted to kind of get your take on how things went.
We were all well received by every part of the industry, which was kind of cool. A lot of people had a lot of questions, and those questions were more geared toward policy and regulation and how we treat our products as responsible business owners, as we educate our clients on protecting them from youth and things like that.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't leave these devices laying around for your grandchildren or your children. So we do educate them on that and battery safety and everything like that. And we have flyers and we have general releases to say that they read the safety instructions of batteries when we sell them, those types of things. So it was really cool to get those questions from them, and they were very easy to answer because we do that. So,
yeah.
But that's kind of where they're leaning is what are we doing and how do we do it from a vape shop purist standpoint, I guess you'd say.
Yeah, cool.
Tobacco harm reduction.
All right, guys. It's that time. It's the end of our show. I want to thank Tim. I want to thank Paul. And I want to thank Mr. Orlando for joining us. Always our best quick guest appearance all the time when we need Nick. Nick is there one for us. And we appreciate Mr. Nick, our number one guest. There it is. All right. Anything else? Anybody else got anything before we go?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
All right. Hey, we'll see everybody next Wednesday. Allison should be back, and we should have our full cast. And we'll see everybody next Wednesday. Oh, look, Paul. Bye.